Hey there, and welcome. We're doing a deep dive today.
Yes, hello.
We're unpacking something really dynamic happening up in Bradford, the Bradford Literature Festival.
Hmm.
We've been looking at some sources, particularly an interview with, well, Bradford's own crime writer, A. Hand.
A great voice for the city.
Definitely. And we want to pull out the core insights, what makes this festival so significant, especially now with Bradford being UK City of Culture 2025. The festival's running June 27th to July 6th this year.
Yeah, and it's interesting, isn't it, how looking closely at one specific event like this, it really can tell you so much about the wider currents in a place.
How so?
Well, it's more than just dates. It reveals things about community, identity, how art both reflects and, actively shapes a city's narrative.
Absolutely. And Hand, our source here, his writing is just steeped in Bradford. He actually talks about the city almost being a character itself in his books.
Right. That's a key insight from him. He sees Bradford not simply as a setting,
Hmm.
but as this really complex mix of contrasts.
Contrasts
Like the vibrant culture alongside its deep history, the amazing diversity, but also acknowledging the challenges it faces. For him, these aren't just, background details. They're the very things that shape his characters, make them authentic.
It sounds like a city that demands complex stories, then.
Exactly.
So, thinking about that complexity, what does the source say makes the Bradford Literature Festival itself stand out? Because it really has carved out a unique space.
Well, Dan Hutt highlights its almost radical inclusivity
Mm.
and its breadth. It's not just literature in a narrow sense.
Right.
It purposefully draws in voices from poetry, sure, but also politics, music, even science, a huge range. It
Mhm.
feels like it's sort of breaking down the walls of a traditional lit fest.
And accessibility seems key, too.
Hugely important,
Yeah.
according to him. He specifically mentions the number of free events. That commitment ensures it's genuinely for everyone in Bradford, not just a select audience.
That focus on access feels like it meshes perfectly with the City of Culture year. How does that timing amplify things for the festival?
Oh, it's seen as totally transformative,
Hmm.
beyond the sort of expected investment and the global spotlight.
Hmm.
The deeper thing is the pride it builds locally. The festival, particularly this year, becomes this powerful platform. It showcases Bradford's heritage, yes, but also its contemporary creative energy. It's actively trying to challenge those old, often outdated perceptions people might have.
Using the moment.
Exactly, leveraging it to rewrite the narrative.
Now, you can't really talk Bradford and literature without thinking Brontes. How does that huge literary history connect with this very modern, diverse festival?
It's fundamental, not just a nod to the past. The insight is the festival doesn't just, put the Brontes on a pedestal and leave them there. It builds on that legacy.
How does that work in practice?
It manages to blend that classic foundation with very current voices. Dan himself mentioned he's excited about a Bronte Heritage Tour this year.
Oh, interesting.
Right. But that's alongside things like the Northern Noir crime writing sessions he's also looking forward to. It shows how they honor the history while fully embracing the now. It's dynamic.
I mean, reflecting the city itself, maybe?
I think so.
And it's clearly not just about famous names or history. The interview pointed towards a big focus on young people, too.
Yes, the education program sounds crucial, offering free events for schools, covering really diverse themes. Ancient Egypt, Shakespeare, civil rights.
Wow, broad range.
It is. And the goal seems less about just teaching subjects and more about sparking inspiration, making literature feel relevant, truly accessible to young minds right where they are. It's like planting seeds for future storytellers.
That's great. And for writers starting out, maybe from backgrounds that haven't always been centered, what does the festival offer them?
According to Hand, it provides a really vital platform. It's empowering. Through things like workshops, panels, chances to network, it's actively working to get diverse voices heard.
Representation matters.
Immensely. Seeing yourself reflected, being able to engage directly with writers like Dan, that can be huge for someone trying to find their way in the literary world.
Okay, so pulling it all together, the Bradford Literature Festival, especially in this City of Culture year, it sounds like it really embodies Bradford's own complex, vibrant self.
Mm.
It's pushing boundaries on what a literature festival is, inclusivity, accessibility, breadth. It's deeply rooted in history, like the Brontes, but also championing contemporary, diverse voices.
A real balancing act.
And the City of Culture status just turns the volume up on all of that.
It really does. And maybe connecting this back to you listening, the thought to leave you with is something like this. What is this festival's success blending that classic legacy with such diverse, modern voices? What does that tell us about the future of culture and storytelling in cities like Bradford?
That's a great question to ponder. It feels like a potential blueprint.
Potentially, yes.
Well, we hope this deep dive gave you some food for thought. Maybe you'll even check out the festival program. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yes. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now.